Good morning, everyone. Welcome to
Howdy.
week 3 of Keeping It Real, Keeping It Real Estate. Mindy. So today we're going to be talking about the things to do to sell your house. Jimmy?
We made a list. We have the
We
10
did.
things you should do to sell your house. And on our list, the last thing we have is going to be, you're going to be shocked at this, but the last thing, of course, is to call us. But we're going to make that the first thing because really, it actually, one of the most painful things that I know Dana and I experience all the time is, people think about selling their house and they say, well, I want to go on the market in 6 months. So I'm going to do all this work. And then when I think I'm ready, I'm going to call Jim and Dana. And then we come over and they do all sorts of stuff that they shouldn't have done and don't do all sorts of things that they need to do. So the very first thing you should do, and Dana and I have been doing this for almost 20 years each, and we're going to be doing it for a long, long time. We got kids to put through college, so we're patient. So, if you are 6 months out and you want to call us, that's totally fine. Call us. We'll come over and then we can put you on the path and make sure that you're doing the right things. So without further ado, number one is call us. Number two, and these are not in any particular order. Dana and I just kind of came up with these stream of consciousness. So, but we're just going to kind of go through them and they're kind of make a little bit of sense. Declutter. And if you got a lot of stuff, think about getting a storage unit at a minimum. If you have to put the stuff somewhere in your house, do it in the storage room in your house or the garage. But especially if your house is size challenged. So because the thing that if you look like your house is bulging at the seams and your closets are stuffed full, then it's really hard for people to imagine that they're not going to be the same way when they move into your house. So get as many things as you can, and then everybody makes the mistake. The furniture that you get at the room store looks great there. And when you get it home, you find out that it's way too big and, everybody has one piece too many. So just understand that, to really maximize that effort, you're going to have to put a few things away and slim down a little bit on what you have in the house. So number two, I'm going to let Dana take this one, depersonalize.
Yep. So depersonalize the house. And I think lots of people get misconceptions about it. And I don't really know what the true truth is, I guess, behind the whole thing, but it's not really just to depersonalize the house so that other people can imagine themselves living there or their families living there and they don't want to see somebody else living in that house. Really, I think what I have found through the years, and I think Jim could probably second the notion, is when you have family pictures up and you have wedding pictures and all this other kind of stuff, your buyers end up coming through the house and they get hung up on, do I know this person? They look at the pictures and they're like, I think I might know that guy, or I might know her, or my kids go to school with their kids or something. And, you want them focused on the house. You want them looking at the bedrooms, the bathrooms, the kitchen, and whether or not they're going to be able to move into that house, whether or not it's the right house for them. So depersonalize.
I'm going to be a little meaner about it, Dana. Everybody's a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
So when the pictures are all over, then people are not, they lose their focus and they're looking and, they're looking around and go, oh, look, they've been to the beach and, just like what Dana said. So we want to keep them focused, because the worst thing in the world is, because most of the time I know, like, how many houses you show a lot of times, Dana? 7, 8, 9, 10 houses. And we want you to be focused. And we want them to be focused on your house. So what we don't want is to get out of there and then have the people go, well, I don't really remember that house. I don't remember this. And
well, Jim, I mean, not to touch on, I know this is about selling the house, not to touch on the buyer aspect of things, but like when you get up and you're showing 8, 9, 10 houses, it's hard enough keeping people focused because they really get mentally tired after the 4th or 5th house. It's hard to keep them focused. And then when you throw personalized pictures on the walls, it's that much harder to bring them back in and keep them focused on.
And I should have mentioned this first. Dana and I, before we went on the air, we talked about this. but this is a huge, huge thing. And this, you know, we talk all the time. It's kind of a recurring theme. Picking the right real estate agent and talking to the right real estate agent is way, way, way more important than you ever realize. And one of the things that I'm really proud of with Dana and I and our group is, you know, we don't have you spend another nickel that you don't have to spend.
No.
Because
we're going to cover that
obviously
in the
the
list.
house, yes. So obviously, you know, if you redid the cabinets in your house and put new floors in and redid the bathrooms and put new granite in and do all this stuff, of course that's going to help sell your house. But the misnomer all the time, you see people on HGTV, they go, oh, well, you know, doing a bathroom gets you this much value and doing this, but if there's so many variables to that, and it's very, very, very rarely the case. So 90% of the time, especially if you're doing it, if you call me 5 years out and you say, Jim, we're going to sell in 5 years and our bathrooms are really in bad shape and we're thinking about doing it, and you want to do it because you want to enjoy it for the next 5 years, you know, there's something to be said for that. But if you're doing it strictly to sell, there's very few things that you can do that will return an investment bigger than the headache and aggravation that go into it. So when you call us, we're going to make sure that you don't do a single thing that you don't have to do to sell your house. And you're going to know that if we tell you to do it, you really, really need to do it.
Right. Yeah, we're extreme. We do not like spending other people's money. We just don't. And you know, for majority of the people out there, you know, you're going to be hiring a contractor to do these jobs. You know, to do the bathroom or redo the kitchen, you're going to be hiring a contractor to do it. And the best you could hope to do would be to get dollar per dollar back.
Right.
When you're selling your house, and that would be the absolute best. And then if you look at that, then it's like, okay, well, what'd you do? Well, I did a project for free. I mean, you're not really gaining anything by doing it other than maybe selling your house, but most oftentimes you can sell your house without having to do this.
Okay, which brings us to probably our biggest bang for the buck.
Yep.
Paint and carpet.
That's a big one. That's a big one.
Yep.
I know it seems so trivial, but you want to take 15 or 20 years of age off your house, put some paint and brand new carpet in there, and that will really, really young up the house.
Well, and like who doesn't like when you're going car shopping and you get in that car for the first time and you get that smell? Well,
Yeah.
That's what carpet and paint does.
That's
Same thing
right.
for your house.
Yeah.
So it's instant. And again, that's one of those things. Sometimes you don't need it, but if it's one of those things where you're borderline and we need something and you say, Jim, I really want to push the envelope on what we can get for this house, that's going to be the fastest way and the most economical way. And Dana, what would you say is a reasonable expectation for paint? Like how much should it cost?
I mean, obviously it depends on the size of the house that you're in, but I mean,
Let's
you
call
can
it a
get
2,000 square foot house.
2,000 square foot house, you could probably get away with about $5,000.
Okay. Yep.
Somewhere in that area.
So $2.50 a foot, something like that. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's
It's
kind of a ballpark. And then carpet, what we always suggest, upgrade the pad. Padding is cheap, and buy builder grade carpet. You know, Home Depot, Lowe's, they're always running specials.
Yeah.
If your funds are tight, you know, they almost always run some kind of thing where you get 0 interest or no payments or something along those lines. Even, you know, the Empires of the world, you know, they're not super outrageous and they're quick. You know, they'll get in and get out. So,
and I can't stress that enough, Jim. Like the padding is super uber important. I mean, it's more important than the carpet is. I mean,
there you go.
Get a nice shade of carpet, but you could take, like Jim was saying, a builder grade carpet and you buy the upgraded padding on there, and you're going to make it feel a lot more plush than what it really is. So that's an important one. And
okay,
can I just circle? I want to circle back around on the paint thing, because most of the time when you say paint and carpet, because we use it usually in conjunction with each other, you know, it's not just the paint on the inside of the house. The paint on the outside of the house really,
good point, Dana,
is a huge one. I mean, that one I can't stress enough about painting the outside of the house and getting that curb, which we're going to get in. You know, Jimmy will talk about that next. Actually, it's the very next time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is my personal favorite. It's the front door. And Dana, why is the front door so important?
Because when buyers pull up to the house, you know, there's this thing, it's actually science, you know, you've got endorphins in your brain. And so, you know, when your brain releases, I guess it's dopamine or whatever, but it's an endorphin. It's a feel good endorphin. When they pull up to the front of your house and those endorphins are flowing, it's much harder to reverse that even when they walk through the front door and into your house. So that's why curb appeal is so important. If you pull up to the outside of the house and it really doesn't look good, it looks trashy or whatever, you've got the negative endorphins flowing. And when you go inside the house, even if you have fresh paint and fresh carpet and new appliances, it's really hard to reverse those endorphins and get the positive ones going, the feel good endorphins going. So it's extremely hard to do. So if the front of your house doesn't look that great, you got to be super spectacular on the inside to reverse.
And so I'm going to put a bow. This is actually two things, because I have front door and then flowers and mulch is the next thing. So as you walk up, you want to see fresh mulch and flowers, but where the front door, and I say always paint the front door kind of, even if it's not in terrible shape, because what happens, it takes the agent 30 seconds or so to locate the lockbox, get the key out, and what's the buyer doing the whole time? They're standing there and they're eyeballing that area right there. And to Dana's point, they're making a decision, just like when you're on a date, and you make a decision on somebody in the first 5 seconds. That's what people are on a date with your house right now. And if that first impression is bad, then it's like Dana said, it's super hard to overcome. So make sure that it's warm and inviting. Have a mat, have a doormat, have a little planter by the front door. Just have something so that people have a reason to want to go inside your house, and they want, because people want to like your house. So give them that reason and start them on the right step. So, okay, next one. There's another one where it's really important. Go ahead, Dana.
Well, I was gonna say, with the painting of the front door as well, like, if you've got shutters on the house, put a fresh coat of paint on the shutters as well, like brighten up the shutter. Anything that requires paint, any kind of wood trim you have on the front of the house, or metal railings is another one. Some people will paint the front door and the shutters and all that stuff, and then they leave the rusted handrail.
Right, which makes it worse.
Iron. What's that?
Then the rails look worse.
And then the rails look worse, and it's just, so if you're gonna paint all, don't leave it.
Okay, so I am going to skip the next one and circle back to that one. But next we got bathrooms. Real easy fix that will go a long way towards because how many people have the subway tile? And Dana loves subway tile because it was popular 50 years ago, and it'll be popular 50 years from now. And it doesn't, but when you haven't changed the grout and it's got the black soot and mold in there, and it just,
let me back up a second, Jim.
Go for it.
White subway tile. White subway tile.
Okay, thank you.
Not the pink,
clean,
or the blues from the 70s.
Right, and you can wish all you want. Those things aren't coming back. Everybody wants to think they're coming back. They're not coming back. So, but anyway, just a light, like clean the bathroom, and I don't mean like what you do Sunday mornings. I'm talking about clean the bathroom. Change the light bulbs. If you got one of those light fixtures with the 5 bulbs on it, yank that off and go to Home Depot and get something cheaper. And that's a $50, $60 fix. And I'm about as unhandy as anybody ever born. And, that's in my wheelhouse. So you guys can handle that. And then caulk, again, if that's something you can do, great. If it's not, you can hire a handyman, on Angie's list for 20 bucks. Of course, we all have people too that we're happy to send to you, but get that cleaned up. And then dress up your bathroom with new fixtures. Like if you got old gold toilet paper holder or the dumb little wooden ones, and you got a wooden toilet seat, get rid of that stuff. Easy fixes. Put that stuff in and get a nice set of fresh towels that match whatever color you got going in the rest of your house. But you should be able to tidy up your whole bathroom for a couple $100 as opposed to thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah, I mean, to redo your bathroom, depending on what contractor you go through, I mean, it's a $20,000-$30,000 job to gut and redo a bathroom. So like Jim was saying, just something as simple as doing the grout and the caulking, towels and toilet seats, you'd be surprised what kind of impact that makes on a bathroom.
Yep,
I agree.
So, okay, next guy, screens and blinds. So for showings, you want the blinds to be open. I don't care what direction you face, whatever, open them up all the way. And then for pictures, especially from the outside, take your screens down.
Yeah.
And store them.
That goes with dressing up the front of your house.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot make screens look good. I don't care if they're brand new. They put a grayish, dirty tinge on your windows.
Yep. And then
So,
to the extent that you can, clean your windows too.
yeah. Right.
So
A good house cleaner goes a long way.
yes, we have that too. So
Yeah,
remember, like, you know, our calling card has and always will be, you know, that, you know, we've got over 20 years, you know, we have the list of the people that we know we can depend on and are going to be reasonable and get the job done. So, you know, I don't care, you know, whether you're buying or selling from us or not, you know, we love being a resource to our friends and family and community. So reach out and let us know. Even if you have no intentions of selling, just keep in mind that, you know, we do this every day, all day. And, you know, we've made enough mistakes with those people that, you know, you don't have to make the same mistake. Call us and we'll put you in touch with the right people. So next guy, appliances. Dana, what do you think about appliances?
They're, you know, they don't have to be top of the line. No one's expecting to walk into a kitchen with Wolf appliances, unless, of course, it's a $2 million property or $3 million property. And if that's the case, then you have the money to do that anyway. So for us average folks out there, appliances, you know, they go up every year. I just had to buy a refrigerator for one of my rental properties. It's $1,500. It's not exactly cheap, but you could do appliance. You could do all the appliances, you know, for $4,000, and that's a big bang for the buck. People love new appliances.
Yeah, and if you sharpen your pencil, I seem to, you know, see Lowe's and Home Depot every so often do the whole setup for, you know, stainless steel for $2,500, and you know.
I was going to say, you can always catch a deal. You can always catch some sort of, you know, if you're planning on selling your house, depending on what time of year, there's usually always some, you know, you've got 4th of July, you've got Memorial Day, you got Labor Day. You know, they always have some sort of nice sale on a package deal or that kind of stuff. So you can definitely do it for 2,500.
And Dana and I are both symmetry people. So one of the things that drives us bonkers is the mismatched appliances.
Yeah.
They don't have to be the same brand, but you got one stainless steel, one black, one white. You know, well, there's nothing wrong with the dishwasher; it's doing fine. Look, you're trying to sell your house for, you know, more money than we told you. The least you can do is put a new dishwasher in. Have your stuff match.
Make your appliances match. It's important. It really, you know, it's that's a simple thing, but that's super important. I couldn't tell you how many people comment on, you know, mismatched appliances.
It's kind of, and I hate to say this, but it ends up being a little bit of a reflection, probably unfairly on the seller. You know, like, well, you know, they kind of half-ass the appliances, or they half-ass some other stuff. So.
Yeah. I mean, we could go into this really deep too. I mean, because in that, you know, one thing leads to another, and I don't, you know, we don't have that much time, but you know, like,
you know, we could do a great show on things not to do before you list your house.
Well, that's true. We could do that. We could do that.
The number one
pet peeve of mine, Jimmy.
People, go ahead.
I'm an appliance guy and I'm a maintenance kind of guy. Is the filth, grime, dust, dirt, debris, dog hair, cat hair on return vents for your HVAC. Yeah. And when you see those things are super dirty, then you know probably the filters haven't been changed, you know. And then you start thinking about, well, how much life do we have left on this HVAC unit? Because you can see, obviously, they don't change the filter. So clean your vents. That's an easy one.
Yep. There you go. All right. So we got 11 things. The number one thing not to do not have a home inspection on your house before you go. So, because, you know, Dana and I, when we walk through the house, you know, we've seen enough things. We'll see if there's anything glaring. We can discuss that. And if you live in the house, for the most part, you know your major issues. But home inspections in general, they're generalists, and you know, they're charging $500-$600 to a buyer. They're going to find something. And if you get a list of 10 or 15 things and you fix it and you think you're good, you're going to be really upset when the next home inspector comes in and gives you a new list of 10 or 15 things. But that's just how it works. So don't do that. Call us, let us walk through the house. And, you know, if there's things that need to be addressed, you know, we'll help you through that, but you'll be kind of throwing your money away to have that done. Same thing with appraisals. Do not have an appraisal. That's a whole show in and of itself. But you know, that's our job, is to create the market. Appraisers, their job is to react to the market. So, you know, let us set the price for you and make sure that whoever you talk to, hopefully it's us, but you know, we're going to explain to you and make sure that you understand how we got to the number we did, and you're going to feel comfortable that we know what we're doing, and we're going to get you that number. So, okay. Last thing on our list is staging. And staging doesn't always mean furniture. So lots of times you might have great furniture, and most of the time you have too much of great furniture. So, but the thing there, and we have somebody that's part of our listing package, you know, we will send our stager over and give you a consult, and it runs the gamut. So we've had, you know, beautiful $1 million houses where, you know, the stager's role is to go in and put carpets and fruit baskets and pillows and things. And then lots of times it's literally just, you know what, this couch is blocking the energy, you know, to the room here, and we need to move this around, and we need to take this couch and put it in this room and put this chair in this room. But we work with the best of the best. So and that's something. And of course, you know, if your house, you know, if it's vacant, and you know, there's lots of scenarios, but again, we have all that in our repertoire. And you know, Dana and I have been doing this long enough that, you know, we know enough to be dangerous as well. But the people that we work with, the pros, are really, 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 really good. So,
and you could do staging virtually. So
yes.
that's another option as well. So
yeah. So virtual staging, just for the record, is basically we take an empty house and we put digital furniture in your house. But the technology is so incredible that you will not be able to tell the difference. It's super cool.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's but to put a bow on it, the number one thing to do is to call us. And you know, this is what we do every day. And I guarantee there's going to be things that you do that you didn't need to do. And it really hurts when you spend a lot of money that you don't need to spend. And there's going to be things that that you don't need to do. And you know, but starting with us,
but it's kind of a double-edged sword too, because if they, you know, if you end up doing it on your own and you do all these things, and then you get us to come in there and you're like, well, you know, we need to do this, and this, it's going to be a little bit of an insult after you just spent thousands of dollars doing all these other things.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And again, you know, Dana and I, we are zero pressure. We have been that way our whole lives. So, you know, even if you're not sure if you want to sell, you know, if you're 6 months out, if you're 3 months out, you know, call us, we'll come over. Number one, you know, we're able to give you an idea of where the market is. And of course, you know, if you've been listening to us or paying attention at all to what we've been saying, you know, the market is really hot, and prices are heading in the right direction if you're a seller. So, you know, it's a good time to sell. And so a lot of times people have been really pleasantly surprised with the information we're giving them there. And then along with that, you know, we can sort of lay out the timetable and what the process looks like, and then give you the resources and time to get the work done that you need to get top dollar for your house.
Yeah. So yeah, I got nothing to add. Put a nice little bow on it.
That was a good one. All right, we'll see you next Tuesday. Have a good one.
See you next Tuesday, guys. Bye.